How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk about stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. Before we get started, I got to drop the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just make sure when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. And today we're going to be talking about DraftKings. I brought this on your radar last week because I'm like, you know what? This company is primed for some future growth. So what is the agenda going to be in this video for today? Well, it's going to be an update from the last video that I've given you. So there's been some updates in regards to the press releases, and there's also been some updates in regards to a partnership, an agreement that they have with another company, which we will be discussing in this video. We're also going to be doing a technical analysis. It has been on quite the run lately since we spoke about it, but I also want to make sure that you guys are not overpaying and you're getting a good deal if you are considering to actually invest in DraftKings. So I feel like that is key. And we're going to be taking a look as well as the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. If you are a shareholder, you need to know what's going on. We need to know what is the big money doing? What is the overall activity really looking like? And then after we cover all of that, I'm going to be going over the analyst upgrades. So anything they're saying, hey, where do we see this stock price at? So I think that is key, especially if you're holding shares. And then I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts afterwards. So the first press release we're going to go over for DraftKings. So DraftKings, Gisele Bündchen joins DraftKings as special advisor to the CEO and board for ESG initiatives. Bündchen to counsel company on environmental and social objectives. DraftKings launches Earth Day DFS contest as first step to reach goal of planting 1 million trees. This is great for the overall image of the company. It is great for social sentiment. It looks really good overall in general. Also, Gisele Bündchen, I'm pretty sure she's also married to Tom Brady. And in regards to her special advisor role, she's also joining alongside Michael Jordan. Yes, you've heard that clearly. So we have Gisele Bündchen and we also have Michael Jordan as special advisors for DraftKings. Love how the management team is looking. They're making sure they have the right people in place in order to accelerate growth. But while they do it, they're still looking at the environment and their overall social impact. You got to love that. Now let's go over the second press release. Sling TV launches new exclusive DraftKings sports betting information channel. On heels of app integration, Sling TV becomes the first TV streaming service to integrate DraftKings information channel on its platform. And this came out on April the 22nd. Let's continue. Today, Sling TV, a leading TV streaming service, launched a new exclusive sports betting information channel in collaboration with DraftKings. Sling TV subscribers and Sling free users can now view real-time game scores and betting odds on the DraftKings basketball channel. This is definitely some great news here. Let's continue. This new channel is just the beginning of how we plan to bring the DraftKings sports betting experience to Sling TV customers, said Michael Schwimmer, president of Sling.tv. We will continue expanding and enhancing our offerings to be the ultimate entertainment experience for sports fans. Sling TV will also launch DraftKings baseball and DraftKings hockey channels in the coming weeks. What does this look like? This looks like future catalysts for DraftKings. I hope you guys are taking your notes. The expansion of the DraftKings sports betting information channels on Sling TV comes after the two companies announced a strategic agreement across Dish's portfolio of brands to bring DraftKings Sportsbook and daily fantasy experiences directly to its customers nationwide. DraftKings is a leader in the sports betting and daily fantasy sports spaces in the US. DraftKings continually looks at new ways to reach customers through innovative collaborations with recognizable brands such as Sling TV, said Paul Liberman, president of product and technology and co-founder at DraftKings. We are thrilled to expand this relationship, which will offer Sling TV customers an entirely new viewership experience through the first of its kind streaming service. This is great news. It's exciting to hear if you are a shareholder like myself. in DraftKings. So since we got all of those press releases out the way, like I said, we're going to do the technical analysis. We're going to look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. We're going to take a look at those analyst upgrades, and then I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. Let's do it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for DraftKings, and the stock has gone up quite a bit since we spoke about it last week. I told you guys to load up if you believe in a long-term potential. But let's take a look at how it did on Friday. So we ended up closing the day at $58.12, being up 1.66% on the day. On the low, we ended up testing $57.24, and then here on the high, testing $58.45. So one thing that we can notice right away on this chart, we definitely have some support here at this level of $55. Anytime this particular area does end up breaking, I definitely see even more of a better opportunity to add, because the next support is right here around $53. And if it did decide to pull back even further than that, I would definitely be loading up even more right here at this $52 level. If we take a look down here at the RSI, even when it does hit these levels, we're getting great value, because where is it? Yes, it's right there around 29. So that is below 30. So that means that it is oversold. So that gives us a chance to get it at a really good deal. When we take a look at the upside potential, we could see there's definitely an area of resistance here right at this $73 level. So that's something that I want you guys to keep an eye on. And it also shows us the potential. If they end up having a strong catalyst, or even if they end up actually blowing earnings out of the water that's going to be coming out on May the 7th, we could see a retest of these areas. But before we actually retest these areas, we definitely have to get past this clear area of resistance here that we have right here around $64.50. Once we're able to get past that area, then we could definitely get a test over here to $66.66. Do keep in mind, this also starts beginning to look very bullish, because we start reaching the 100-day and as well as the 200-day, which you can see over here. Right now it's riding on top of the 21-day EMA, so right now it's looking fairly bullish going in for next week. But I do see there could be some sell-offs, especially with earnings not too far away on May the 7th. But there could definitely be more of a run-up, and I would like to see this area of $60 being tested, because I know for a fact once it's able to pass 60 with a lot of volume and demand, we could definitely look forward to seeing a strong movement here to around 61.50, and this would be another area. We pass that area, we reclaim the 100, and I think that $60 level, since it's a psychological level, traders will get involved, and we could see that run up in that push going just below $65 to being in that $64 range. So you know where the areas of support that you need to look out for. You know where, hey, where can I get this stock at a deal? We already see what the upward potential is. One thing, if you do believe in DraftKings and you're going to be holding this stock for at least a year to 2 years to 5 years, even buying now at any point where it's at right now is still a great deal. Anyone doing any short term or doing any swing trades, then definitely look out for those pullbacks. We've seen it pull back into that 57 area. There's definitely a possibility, especially getting close to earnings and maybe getting a potential sell-off, where it could come back and do a retest of 55. So we're now on fintel.io, and we're going to take a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for DraftKings. So institutional owners, they have a total of 893. So that is quite a bit. So if you are new to this channel, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we could definitely see a lot of activity in regards to institutions and them putting in positions for DraftKings. We also see some notable names. We have Fidelity here, and we also have Schwab. But for the most part, it's definitely looking bullish. Even looking at April the 23rd, which was Friday alone, a lot of activity here. We have a total of 2 institutions that ended up having new positions. We could also see on the Thursday of April the 22nd, institutions showing more interest opening up. So this is something that is great to see, and it's part of the reasons why I believe in the long-term prospects of DraftKings. If we take a look at the short interest information, the short volume ratio is at 18%. So it is below the 21% in regards to short squeeze potential. So you can't really look forward to seeing big time movements in price action. But If there's a catalyst, and if it's a big catalyst, or if maybe if they have earnings and they end up blowing it out of the water, those are the only exceptions in regards to seeing some very significant moves. So be aware of that. But what does this mean? I know I get this question quite a bit. So on the Friday that just passed, overall market volume is pretty much how many shares being traded. So being traded at 10.17 million, those are the total of shares. Out of all of those shares, the ones that were shorted were around 1.8 million. Not too bad at all. If we see the short shares availability, it is right here around 6.5 million. And if we check a look at the short borrow free rate, it's at 0.30. So it's not that bad at all. If it was much higher in regards to the short volume ratio, you'd be seeing a completely different number here. If you can notice that from other stocks that we cover, the short volume ratio, seeing how it was previously in the past, it has been above 21%, but the fact that it's actually lowered and it's down to 17.81 from the day before on April the 22nd, it was at 23.52, is actually a fairly significant change. So I will continue to keep an eye on that, but do keep that in mind and be aware if you are a shareholder of DraftKings. So now let's take a look and see what the analysts are saying. Let's see what the price targets are. So the upside for DraftKings is at $74.29. So that is just under 28% upside. So we take a look. This is based on 22 analysts. So this is a good amount. On the low, we have $50. On the medium, we have at $74.29. And on the high, valuing at $105. So yes, DraftKings does have the potential to double, and I definitely do see that, especially since I believe in the long-term prospects of DraftKings. So this goes into my final thoughts. This particular play is definitely a great play because DraftKings are one of the leaders in their space. So this continues into my final thoughts for DraftKings. I love the long-term prospects of this company. We also see that institutions are showing a good amount of interest as well. They do have earnings coming out on May the 7th, and it's part of the reasons why I do expect to see some more volatility in this stock. If you watch the technical analysis portion, then you know the price that you need to pay if you're going to be looking at DraftKings long-term, or if you're going to be looking at short-term or swing trade opportunities. Like I say, and I say it in the disclaimer, I am not telling you guys to buy DraftKings stock, but I do believe it deserves some consideration. Since we last spoke about it, the stock price has gone up. Please keep that in mind. And you want to make sure in your portfolio you have quality stocks like DraftKings. They are leaders in their space, and they're making sure they have the right management and advisors on their team to grow this company. And the one thing we need to realize as well, Cathie Woods is definitely very bullish on DraftKings, and she's always consistently adding to her position. If you're not aware, she runs the funds over at ARK Invest, which I know many of you who watch this channel do know about. So the fact that they have high conviction, we have the analysts who have high convictions. We also see institutions are loading the boat, showing that they have high convictions. This is great for when you're doing your homework and your due diligence on a company before investing. So by seeing all of these following factors fall into place, we're seeing consistent press releases, consistent updates to actually better the company. I love that. So what that tells me is the current price that we see right now, 5 to 10 years from now, or even 1 year to 2 years from now, there's a lot of upside, and as far as the growth rate, it's actually better than the returns that you would normally get if you would have thrown your money inside of an index fund, which is usually around 12 to 14 to 15%. Recently, back in 2020, we definitely had a bull year, so with the exception of that, but for the most part, just to keep you updated, hey, you want to make sure you have some great solid growth stocks, and I feel like DraftKings is one of them. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and we'll be talking real soon.